Hi everyone, I'm the Parabox, and I welcome you to this series of Blender Basics tutorials, where I'll be guiding you through learning how to use Blender so you can model with confidence. In this series, we will be breaking down the most important aspects of the program that you can see on screen. From navigating the interface and transforming objects, to modifiers and basic materials. These are very technical topics, but everything is designed by levels, so you can learn in a simple and fun way. If you are enjoying this series and want to go deeper, I invite you to take a look at my complete beginner's course, where we will explore modeling, sculpting, materials, and much more. You have the link in the video description. And now, let's go to our first level of this series. Well, let's start by looking at the Blender interface and workspaces. For this series, I'm using version 4.3, which you can download for free from the official website. But don't worry if you have a different version, as Blender releases several versions a year, but the most basic aspects usually remain the same. The first time we open Blender, we will see this little window, and there we will be asked for some basic configuration options. As I have already opened this version previously, they will not appear, but I can find them here, in Edit, Preferences, specifically in Key Map. Blender is going to ask us two things. First, with which mouse button do we want to select? In my case, I like to use the right click. And the second thing is, what do we want to do with the space bar? In my case, I like to use it to search. This configuration comes very much according to your taste, but from my point of view, this is the most viable way to configure it. So I'll close here, and let's take a look at our interface. The first thing we can see is that our screen is divided into several panels. Here at the top right, we have the outliner, which is a list of all the objects we have in the scene. In the second one here to the right, we have the Properties panel, which is where the properties of the objects are: the render, the scene, the camera, materials, etc. At the bottom, we have the timeline, which if we press play starts to advance. This is mainly used for animation. If I want to stop it, I give escape. And in this big window, we have the 3D view, which is where we are going to be moving most of the time in Blender. But we're going to look at this one in more depth in the next video. Now, at the top, we have the Workspaces, these tabs we have here. Workspaces are pre-designed interfaces for specific workflows. For example, if I come here to modeling, we have a more optimal layout for modeling, and our object already comes in edit mode. We have, for example, sculpting, where we have all the sculpting tools here at hand, with their properties also very visible. We have the UV display, where we already have the UV of our model displayed, among several others, so if you want easy access to a specialized interface, you can come here to the Workspaces. Let's go back to the original, and to modify our interface, we can move the panels of this little black border that we have here. If we click and drag, you can see that we can move this border. Then we can change the size horizontally and vertically. We can also duplicate a panel by approaching the corner of it, and when we get the little cross, we click and drag. In this way, we duplicate it. We can also do it both vertically and horizontally. And we can change the perspective in one of them, and in the other one, it will remain intact. And now, to collapse these panels that we created, we approach again to the corner where the cross appears. We click and drag, and we put it on top of the other panel that we want to cover. In this way, they collapse. Or we can right-click on the black line, and with the cursor, we decide which of the two areas we want to cover. We can also change the different editing panels from here in this little button that we have at the top left. In each of the panels is in the same position. From there, we can select any of the editors that we have available in Blender, which are all these. Let's put, for example, Compositor. We can put down here Shader Editor. And so we customize it to our preference. And now, if we have worked an interface and we want to save it as it was so that it appears every time we open Blender, we can come to File, Defaults, and we press Save to start up file. We overwrite it, And this way, every time we open Blender, it will appear with this interface. If we want to return to the default settings, we come back to Defaults and we hit Load Factory Settings, and it resets the initial configuration. And those are then all the basics of the interface and the workspaces. And in the following video, we will see how we can navigate here in the 3D view.